Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. That's Emery Hunt, the Czar of the Playbook, and I'm Tyler Mirkovich, and we're bringing you our 2010 season preview for the Philadelphia Eagles. Played it pretty good last year. They were very hot down the stretch until they ran into a bad team, bad matchup for them, which was the Dallas Cowboys, and a lot of overhaul for the team here. Only a couple players over 30, and Andy Reid and Marty Morningwig will hand the reins over to Kevin Kolb, the quarterback out of Houston, and his accuracy in short distance is prime. So, and Brian Westbrook is out too, so LaShawn McCoy, second year back out of Pittsburgh, gets the reins. Leonard Weaver, and he has a couple other running backs back there. But can Kevin Kolb lead the fifth best scoring offense? Can he have that kind of impact McNabb had over the past couple of years for the Eagles?
That's going to be the question. How good is Kevin Kolb? I remember Kolb coming out of Houston, outstanding quarterback, but we hadn't seen him extensively in the last 2 years because he's been behind McNabb. But we're about to find out how good Kolb is, and I also wonder if Vic is going to show enough to possibly get moved through before the trade deadline, or will he take over as a starter sometimes if Kolb struggles? So that's something to keep watching throughout the season as well. To Vic play well in the preseason, he could probably get moved. The running back spot, LaShawn McCoy is special. A guy that is shifty, can make you miss in the phone booth, can also catch the football out of the backfield. He has solved his fumbling issues that plagued him at Pitt, so he can carry the football. I love the selection of Charles Scott out of LSU. Is going to be a banger inside. People in Philadelphia are going to really love Charles Scott. And the addition of Mike Bell is also going to provide that inside running. And don't forget how special of a player Leonard Weaver is.
Well, let's get to their offensive line after we get to the receivers, because Deshaun Jackson is something special. Kick return game, punt return game, but he could take a 6-yard pass and go the distance, and he could go deep. So if Kolb could really get his deep ball going, him and Macklin are going to be great targets. Jason Avant, and great possession receiver also. Hank Baskett is back, but tight end Brent Selleck, what a year he had last year. So him and Kolb are going to hook up a lot, because Selleck had a breakout year, and Kolb loves those intermediate passes right over the middle. So what do you think about their top?
I love their wide receiving core. They have the most explosive receiving core in the division. You mentioned all those guys that are starters, but I like the depth that they have. They added Clay Harbor, tight end out of Missouri State, that's explosive. They added Cornelius Ingram, that's going to come back from injury. That got injured last year early in the season in minicamp. He's going to be explosive from Florida. You also bring in Riley Cooper, 6'3", 223, a guy that's sneaky fast, can catch the football. That's the kind of depth that you need in this division. That's going to help the Eagles remain explosive, and it's going to help Kolb ease into that position. So Kolb is going to look fine, I believe, with all these targets that he has.
Well, offensive line, they picked up Jason Peters from the Bills last year to anchor that left tackle position. Played okay at times, still made the Pro Bowl, but their injury to their center, Jamal Jackson, really killed them. That's when the team really went downhill to Dallas. So he's going to be back from injury. Nick Cole also in the middle over there. Todd Harriman they have. Stacey Andrews, Max Jean Giles are all fight for the guard spot. And Winston Justice really stepped up at right tackle, and he has found a home there.
Yeah, Nick Cole has to step up huge. So you remember that game against Dallas? He was getting abused up the middle. So that's a question. And how healthy will Jamal Jackson be coming off injury? But you also want to keep an eye on A.Q. Shipley at center
from Penn State,
a guy that's really active, compete, big mauler. They like that out at center. And also Mike McGlynn, another guy you want to keep an eye on at center, could possibly start at center. So they have some depth on that O-line. They just need Jamal Jackson to be healthy, because I think the rest of the O-line is going to take care of itself.
Absolutely. And defensive side of the ball, they obviously missed the presence of Jim Johnson on the sideline. Sean McDermott took over, but they pick up Dick Duran to help McDermott out, and he's going to be the defensive backs coach. But that is a very good veteran football mind to go with McDermott, who's less experienced. Let's talk about the D-line. Of course, they get Brandon Graham to help them off the edge, go opposite of Trent Cole, so those are your starting D-ends. And Mike Patterson and Broderick Bunkley up the middle. Trevor Laws giving them depth at D-tackle. So what do you think about they pick up Darryl Tapp also from Seattle. So maybe they're really trying to get some influx and depth up on that D-line, because he was getting abused last year.
I like the moves they made on the defensive side of the football, in particular the defensive line. You look at Tapp and drafting Graham is going to provide explosiveness off the end to match Trent Cole's explosiveness. You also look at the D-tackle position. You want to keep an eye on Jeff Owens. He could surprise. I think he's going to be a star in this league. That's what they need out that interior defensive line position. And they also get a surprise rookie, a nice rookie, Teo Nashim could also bring it as well too. A pass rush out of Washington, a guy. So that's something you want to look forward to. Oh, if you're an Eagles fan, the defensive line is going to come get after the quarterback. Bringing over Tap was huge. Drafting Graham was even bigger.
Where they were tied for third in sacks last year. They had a pretty good season, but down the stretch, their D-line fell apart, so they're trying to get younger, and Brandon Graham has a non-stop motor alongside Trent Cole. That's going to be a terror for the future.
Yeah, they just need
the Eagles.
They need Trevor Lawrence to step up and play big, though.
And I think the linebacker position killed them last year. This is why they bring in Ernie Sims, Stuart Bradley back from injury. That killed them. That lost Hakeem Jordan. Looking to start. Omar Gaither is now a backup, and they drafted a bunch of defensive players also. So when it comes to the linebacking position, they're a lot healthier and a lot more improved, because I think that position killed them last year. Secondary, Asante Samuel, a lot of people calling him out for his tackling abilities, but he is a pretty good cornerback. Ellis Hobbs might go opposite him. They have question marks for that other cornerback, which could be a problem. Quentin Michael has been a good strong safety last year, and they drafted Nate Allen to hope he could fill the shoes of Brian Dawkins, but vocally, I don't think you can, but Nate Allen has a lot of promise out of South Florida. They drafted him second round. They also pick up Marlon Jackson, who could play somewhere in the secondary.
Yeah, Marlon Jackson's already out for the season. Got injured in minicamp again, so his career may be done. So that's tough to lose.
Two straight season-ending injuries.
Right. Expect the rookie cornerback Trevor Lindley out of Kentucky to compete for a starting spot. He's Trevor Lindley. I'm sorry. He's solid playmaker for the Wildcats. He was hurt last year. He's going to compete with Ellis Hobbs. I'm still not sure if Ellis Hobbs is a starter.
That might have been a steal of the draft right there. Lindley was a very productive corner at Kentucky, and he went, third, fourth round? So
exactly.
I thought he'd definitely be a second round.
And get Nate Allen as well, too, a ball hawk. You see what Darren Sharper does for the Saints. You see what Ed Reed does for the Ravens. Nate Allen's that type of player. He can also play cornerback in a pinch. So the secondary is going to look fine. Keep an eye on also undrafted rookie free agent out of Arizona, Devin Ross, a guy that was solid for the Wildcats, will prove to be solid for the Eagles. And you jump back to that linebacking core, figure out that Ricky Sapp out of Clemson, outside linebacker, Jamar Chaney out of Mississippi State, and he has a lot of speed. So you bring Sapp that was played a little D in at Clemson, and now they're going to move him to outside linebacker as a pretty much a rush in, and you bring in Chaney as also getting Bradley back is huge, and also I think Alex Hall was a solid pickup from Cleveland to help out that linebacker.
Well, I think Sapp would definitely be better fit as an outside linebacker in a 3-4, but they could always use him as that elephant position, bring him off the edge along with Graham and Trent Cole.
And Ernie Sims is outstanding. That's what they needed as a weak side linebacker, by his coverage ability. So the linebackers are fine. They got better by getting younger. So this is going to be explosive Eagles defense.
Special teams, they have the best man in the business, and that's Bobby April taking over the reins. And you're going to team him up with Deshaun Jackson, who helped them to the #1 punt return team in the league at 13.5 per average. Of course, Jackson could do it all. Quentin Demps is slated to be kick returner, but you could always use Macklin. And when it comes to the kicking game, David Greenacres, he's very solid from especially inside 40 yards. Savroka is their punter. So Bobby April really going to bring some tenacity, juice, and their turnover differential might be even better. Even though it was #2 last year, it could be up because Bobby April's special teams really play aggressive.
Best special teams coach in the league. I have no problem with their return units. Their return units are excellent.
Philadelphia Eagles, it's all young. In the next 3 to 4 years to come, they're going to be a Super Bowl contender. So Eagles fans will be happy with the Andy Reid.
They're going to be fine this year. They're going to surprise a lot of people. They may even be in the playoffs. The Eagles are a talented team. They got young, great talent, and that's going to always put you in position to win games. So I think they're going to be fine.
Well, they're one of those teams in the East. I think it's all up for grabs. Every team has a 25% chance.
Right.
For more, visit footballgameplan.com/NFL or check out our YouTube channel at youtube.com/footballgameplan.